Hi guys, I'm Garen.
I'm JD.
And this is Investigating Comic Club, where we chronologically read, review, discuss, and rate specific crucial stories of the medium.
Indeed, and we hope that you guys will subscribe, become members of Comic Club yourself, stick around till the end of the conversation for our episodic comic quality poll, share your opinions in the comments below, and stay till after the Misfit Picture Show's logo for any possible bloopers that the episode may provide. Today we are doing Excalibur #1 by Tini Howard, Marcus Toe, and Eric Arciniga. I hope I pronounced that right. I certainly don't know any of those creators. I'm completely unfamiliar with that.
Cool.
Captain Britain was created, 1976 by Chris Claremont and Herb Trimpe. He was the artist on the first issue. And it was for the UK. They created an alternate for Captain America. And then later, many years later, Excalibur was created by Chris Claremont and Alan Davis. And Captain Britain was kind of, maybe possibly the leader of it. Him and Nightcrawler.
Gotcha.
And I've talked to you, I've mentioned Excalibur to you in the last couple weeks, months.
Yeah.
Just feeling like it's your... I'm kind of, after you finish the X-Force stuff, I think Excalibur is the next one for you. Just because I think the tone of it, you'll have a lot of fun with it. And it does kind of stand on its own. While the X books were going, at that time it was the New Mutants, Uncanny X-Men, X-Factor, and Excalibur, plus Wolverine for his solo book. But Excalibur really worked kind of on its own, and it was just a cool tone to it. Very unique, very fun. And part of Captain Britain's lore, it does include all that Camelot and King Arthur and all that stuff. And Otherworld. It's kind of the multiverse, different parallel realities. I've kind of stopped myself at times from mentioning, this is the 616. I don't know if you've heard 616 in the background at times. 616, Marvel Universe, the Marvel Earth, this reality of it is the 616. So there's also Earth 2022. There's Earth 839. All of these different realities. Like the Age of Apocalypse I've mentioned. That's a different reality. So this Earth proper is 616. And the Captain Britain are the guardians of the omniverse, of the other worlds and all of those realities.
Okay.
I also thought it was cool because Garen's been reading Once and Future. That indie, it's kind of like the rising indie comic. I haven't read it, but Garen's been reading it for the past several months. I've got his copies of the first 3 issues. Is it 3? And that's by Karen Gillan, I believe his name is. He's a good writer. I'm looking forward to reading that. We should probably review that at one point. But I just thought that was cool stuff coming together for you as you read this. What did you think as like thoughts overall at the beginning for this?
Right away after the data page of Apocalypse sending out his message to all the sorcerers, jumping right into this, I wrote right away saying, wow, very medieval art. I like darker, especially darker than we had with Marauders last week, and having this it is when you think Camelot, medieval times, but it's still the colors popped.
Colors, I felt like everything, I'm unfamiliar with this artist and colorist, but I felt like right away it was lush and gorgeous. The artist, there's another artist that he's very influenced by his name is Jimmy Cheung, but this artist, even if he's influenced by Cheung, he's making it his own, and I think I'm wildly impressed by this art. I think it's awesome.
Again, it's something me jumping into not knowing even some of these characters. I know, Rogue, Gambit. I don't know a lot of, I even know Jubilee, but it's this is, I feel like one of the first for me, she's fully been integrated into a storyline for me. So it's cool to see these, just even that opening before the title page, before you see the cool, Apocalypse, this is his, you can tell it's going to be his gang, sending out his message. throwing it out there with, okay, you're in the other world, you're in Camelot, and just seeing, it was cool just to see the guy's face into the water, but then seeing Krakoa's outline of the gate.
The weeds are spreading.
Yep,
and
spreading
I think
through it.
I like it's almost like her pool and that other world pool exists almost like it exists in all times. You know, and I liked the magic, the use of magic in this. I almost had it like it was like a fairy tale mixed with Harry Potter, mixed with modern day like witches and covens, like.
Yeah, I feel like people who are into witches and covens would even have, I would hope, even more of an insight of being like, oh, I know exactly what that is, right? You know, like, for us, we're just kind of putting things together with what it is, but people who, you know, I would hope, like, the people did their research when they were creating this.
It feels like that.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like it, and I feel like this book, that stuff is all kind of mystical to me.
Yeah.
And it's intriguing to me. But I feel like this book would also, I hope, appeal and not insult. You know, there are witches, that there are people that that's their religion.
Yeah, and I thought about that while reading this whole issue. Was like, oh, this is cool. Yeah, it's like, oh, this is cool. But I was like, then again, it is that culture that could be offended.
Yeah, I hope not.
I hope not. I don't know what they would be or what they wouldn't be. But it's that thing where reading it, this is the first time where I'm kind of reading it going like, if you didn't get this right, even if it is, it's comics, you know? But there's something in there where it's like, you're going to have people who are like, well, that's not correct. You would never have a coven who did this or did, you know, like.
I feel like it feels authentic. I think that with Betsy being such a strong character in it, and it's written, I believe that's a woman that's writing it. I don't know for sure. But it does feel like there was care given, and it seems like she did her either research or maybe she is, that's her religion. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it felt authentic to me, and I thought that just was rich.
Yeah. What'd you think of this issue being called Verse 1, The Accolade of Betsy Braddock?
I didn't even read that. It's a fitting, this issue. It's cool. You see.
She was awarded that.
This issue, I thought of you a lot. I felt like it is dense. You feel the history here.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're actually along for the ride to see the origin of Betsy Braddock as Captain Britain.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
That's cool.
No, it is. Yeah.
Clearly, her twin brother, has been. Now she takes the mantle.
Yeah.
And this is the origin of that.
Yeah.
This is the first issue of that.
Which is great.
Which is cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Oh boy, there's a lot of rich history there. It's kind of overwhelming. Enough to keep you going and intrigued.
Yeah.
And bam, here's a brand new beginning.
Yeah.
And she has always been one of my favorite characters again. I think her history maybe more than, God, there's a lot of X-Men characters that have
Captain Britain
bizarre,
or
complex
Psylocke
origins. Psylocke?
Yeah.
But yeah, boy, there's a lot of history there. You get a sense of it in this issue that she took the life and the form of another character, Psylocke. She doesn't want to be called Psylocke because she kind of stole this other person, this Asian woman's body for so long.
Yeah.
All this wacky stuff. But it's there, and it is overwhelming.
It's very dense. It's very lots of things that it comes in that are not over my head, like it's not too dense, but you can tell the story and there's history there. But it was just enough there was just enough parts where there was a lot. There's a lot. But that whole medieval side of things was kind of kept you like on your toes of being like, right once you were kind of like, I don't know exactly what's going on here, but I'm intrigued. Then it jumps back to Camelot, and you're like, oh yeah, that's right, this is a fantasy.
I think that the writer does a really great job of honoring what has come before, touching upon it without the density completely weighing it down. As an aside, I couldn't help but think how clever it is. Okay, my theory on the phalanx. And using Krakoa to spread to the mutants, to the humans, to the moon, to the universe. And now, what a clever way, if that is true, you've got Otherworld and all these dimensions. You set somebody up like Morgan, who's clearly cruel. And, we need to get in there to take this woman out because she's evil. But that's a clever way to basically Apocalypse wants in there.
Yeah.
And spread not only through this universe, but
yeah,
all realities.
Yeah. It's,
you know, we're on their side. Yeah, Excalibur's got to get in there.
Yeah.
But there's a reason that gate is closed off, and it might not be because of Morgan.
Yeah.
It might be because of the larger threat that the Phalanx is.
Yeah. So that it doesn't spread completely. That's why. Yeah, and there's some things about Apocalypse, like how many times to the point when by the time at the end when they finally said his name correctly.
The artist formerly
I was just waiting for Apocalypse to be like, about time. That's right.
I see you're flipping through the pages right here of just Betsy and Brian talking. With Megan here, she's a shape changer. I like that she changes the color of her hair to match the dress.
Oh yeah.
This cute detail. Just them walking down the stairs.
Yeah.
Like it's really nice.
It's really rich. When we go through it and redo the reviews, I'm seeing it page-wise. But when I read it, I'm doing panel by panel. So this is what I see, and I click next, and that's what I go to.
It's really cool.
You know, so I'm like, I right away was like, wow, that's a great scene to come into.
Yeah, when she first enters Krakoa, I really liked that establishing shot. You know, because last week with the Marauders, Kitty was not allowed in. So I think they kept us kind of outside of Krakoa and the Paradise mostly.
Yeah, yep.
And I think that through Betsy walking in there for the first time after this has been really established, you felt that joy, you know?
Yeah. It's like not only was she welcome, we felt welcome back, you know?
Yeah, and I do think that this is some kind of euphoria drug that Krakoa is seeping into everybody, making everybody high and joyful. But at the same time, it's fun to see the X-Men high and joyful.
Yeah.
And I wonder, this made me think about Kitty and the reason that Krakoa might not want her in there. Maybe something to do with her phasing ability. The drugs might not even affect her, and she might be more attuned to what's going on.
Oh, wow.
And that might be the reason that Krakoa wants her out.
Yeah, or no,
you know, and then she's miserable, getting drunk, and making bad choices like let's invade Russia.
Yeah, we got this. Yeah.
Maybe not the brightest of choices. It's a little more complicated than just let's do it.
And it's still just weird seeing Apocalypse, like even him just being a good guy, you know?
Wow, Jubilee's got a kid, which that's news to me.
Okay, I'm just over here like, oh, cool. I don't know what I'm supposed to already know and not already know.
But that's, I think,
based upon research.
The brilliance of what Hickman has done with his Bible of Powers and House. Yeah. He's reestablished things that I haven't been reading X-Men for 4 years, so I don't know what was already set up as part of the lore or is just now a new beginning, which means I don't have to go back to do the research if I don't care to. And I think that that's really great. I loved Rogue and Gambit. They're not actually two of my favorite characters.
What is her name?
Yeah, Trinary. She was mentioned earlier, and I said that I didn't know who she was during the House of Powers. She was on one of the data pages.
Yeah, gotcha. Oh, okay.
I think that she's involved with, like she says, Cypher and Sage. Gotcha. She was part of those, like, the communication people.
Oh, makes sense. So she's kind of, each person has their right hand communications.
Yeah.
And I loved how, well, the reason I just make it because of just, I'd prefer to be called, and she's like, sure. I can pronounce that.
Yeah, I can pronounce that.
If you're willing to take a look at the new gate, you know, just like, of all the things right now, you're changing your name?
Yeah, it's pretty great. I liked seeing Rogue and Gambit. I believe they're married. I liked that she's kind of considering children.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that was fun to see, and I mean, even it was just elegant, like that artwork. You know, just them together. That's a poster worthy without anything. You know, like.
No, it's really, really nice artwork, and I enjoyed the story quite a lot. It's got the whole fairy tale thing combined with mutants and X-Men. Like it felt like both, which was lovely. They've even got Sleeping Beauty by the end. It's cool, man. Yeah,
I even like there's the line of kind of like throwing that in there, like, oh, bedtime? It's like, oh, don't look too excited. I'm not wearing that power dampening bracelet in Paradise.
It's a little bit of a tough one for me to talk about because, again, I want you to keep reading the issues with your knowledge.
Yeah.
And I don't want to start talking about like, oh man, Captain Britain's so cool. You got to read this story and that story.
I was kind of confused.
Probably with Jamie.
Yeah. I don't know. That was a moment where it kind of almost lost me. You know, where it was like, great. I'm like, I'm on board. I don't know what's going on, but I still know what's going on. And then for this, I'm like, what am I missing?
Yeah, they established earlier while they were talking down the stairs that Jamie, who's their brother, was up to no good and was dead. Yeah. And now he's back and still
it's just
up to no good. That's
kind
of all you think.
That's really all I get.
And they established that they're mutants, but Brian is not. His power comes from Otherworld. Yeah. So that's kind of all you need to know.
Yeah, I was like, okay, that makes sense there, and then I loved her too. I loved her outfit.
All that stuff is really cool, but again, Krakow's always with them and literally physically over top of them, creating their like convenient costumes. Oh, this is so convenient.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm in control at all times.
This is a disaster waiting to happen. All this Otherworld stuff is great with Morgan. I felt the stakes right away. I had a feeling to make room for Betsy being Captain Britain, that something bad was going to happen with Brian.
I kind of looking at it this way, this looks beautiful. Getting closer on it, it's a little less detailed it seems, but it's still poppy with the artwork. But like looking at it like it's meant to be read on an actual page too. It's like, no, it's like the greens and the darkness and the, you know, the purples and...
Yeah, that's a good point. This artist, he's looking at the page. Yeah. He's creating the page, not just panels. Yeah. He looks at a page as a whole, it looks like.
No, it looks great.
And he's really working it out. This is, not only was his storytelling of them walking downstairs very elegant and lovely, here is some gorgeous motion of Betsy with her sword going out. Like it's, this guy, hold on to him. Because he is an excellent artist.
I'm glad that, they, regardless of if you know about Gambit and Rogue, but they showed us their relationship just enough for them to kind of, then what happens to Rogue affects Gambit, you know?
Yeah, and also I like that Rogue does, she was on the team with Betsy for quite a bit. And you feel... Whereas maybe Gambit not as much, or Jubilee as much, Rogue is concerned about Betsy.
Oh yeah,
she's like, no, we're not leaving her there. Like this, what are you talking about? Really cool ramp up to Betsy's big reveal as Captain Britain. And one of the great things about this storyteller, I think,
and he gives her the
he's still
there enough. Yeah, he's like, I'm lost. She's in control of me, but it's enough for, please just take this.
And it's a great moment. It's very heroic, even though he does lose that battle. He gets this amulet to Betsy. And the reveal of her as Captain Britain is so, like, majestic. And she just, please don't look at me like that.
Yeah. She's like, I don't. I mean, this is... What happened to Rogue?
The writer, when you're doing a story in modern day that is so fairy tale fantastic, I think... embracing the absurdity of it is important, but you don't want to poke fun of it in a way that is insulting to the history. You want to embrace that as a part of it. I don't know, not knowing this writer very much, I was very impressed by her work. And the book as a whole, I would certainly give it an A.
Ooh, giving an A. Doesn't give an A much. Before I give it my rating, what did you think of the epilogue?
I thought the epilogue was very interesting. I'm glad you brought that up. Do you remember the word Aqaba?
Yeah, I do.
And you don't know where?
Yeah, no, I do. Was that a Sinister one, or is that a...
Close.
What was that?
Aqaba, and you do know this, so I'm just throwing it out. You've just kind of forgotten because it's a forgettable.
Yeah.
It is the birthplace of Apocalypse.
So, which then adds into this coven, too, with, I love this... Is
this a bad guys, a cult?
Yeah, right, yeah. It's
working on I don't know. Who knows?
Well, I wrote something in here for...
There's a lot of layers. It's fun.
What did I write in here? Why did I write that? Sinister bread.
Which breed?
Yeah, breed. Which breed? Sinister breed.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, because she...
Oh, yeah.
Morgan is saying that you are not witches, like mutants, which is kind of a cool thing to think of mutants as witches, like a witch breed. But she is saying, no, you aren't true magic. You mutants are not real magicians.
Yeah, because she even says, she's like, you two are to be told, one born good of light, truth, and a champion, the other a sinister thing.
Oh, there you go. Good.
Of lies who works in the shadows with wild powers.
So again, that works on different levels. You can read that on one level and just think of the history of Psylocke. Or, even though Morgan Le Fay is cruel, is evil, she might, because of her magic, be picking up Sinister's...
She feels it, yeah.
You know, because this Psylocke is clearly from the eggs.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yep.
So who knows? There might be some evil in this witch Krakoa.
And I think, and after reading it and giving... I mean, both of these, again, for me, they're guilty pleasures of not even knowing stories, but just, I mean... Even with Marauders, I love the pirate side of this, and then this, the Excalibur side, and that's why it's like, I mean, I threw out there, I'm glad that we agree, guys, with an A.
Nice.
We agree with the A, and it was, I've gone back and forth on, I even wrote, I was like, B at first, it was an A, then it went to a B, then it went to an A, just because there was a few moments with Jamie, where I was just like, okay, this is...
Too much.
Too much. I was like, I don't...
You're correct. And in issue 1, you shouldn't need me to fill in the gaps because of continuity static, stopping you from it really thoroughly enjoying something.
Yeah.
I get that this issue, the writer's juggling a whole lot of balls, but for the most part, I think she nails it. And that you get to the end of it with giving ultimately an A.
Yeah.
You know...
No, it's very much intriguing for the second issue, and again, it might not be for everybody, but for me, especially where I am with the once and future, like that, just Excalibur, that kind of thing, which I've never been fully on with in my life, but it's more so I'm intrigued by all of that.
If you tell this story right, like it is for everybody. You look at Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
If you tell the story right, it is for everybody now. Nowadays, it's just a whole new world.
Yeah, it's true.
What did you guys give it?
What did you guys give it? We want to know in your comic quality poll we have up above here, A, B, C, D, or F. Let us know. Comment below. Let us know what you think. Agree, disagree. Let's have the conversation going.
Yeah, next week we get 2 books.
We do get 2 books, and I'm looking forward to because it's X-Force and New Mutants. If you guys were wondering, though, what it says at the very back for the next issue...
Well done, Garen.
Yes. The next issue is See the Great Flame Blazing. Well, there you go. To be continued.
Correct eyeline.
Hi, I'm Garen.
I'm GD.
And this is Investigating Comic Club. Where I chronologically.
This guy?
Yeah, just me.
What am I, chopped liver?
Is my eyes open? Are my eyes open? Sorry.
That's rude. Garen, don't you need me?
Anyways, like I said, he's not here.